Hello everyone, and with you Nelly Karimjanovna. Today I would like to talk about an important topic for everyone who strives for self-development. We envision ourselves as trees. Then the goal for a sick tree is to heal and strengthen the roots, ensuring its overall health and vitality. Then both the fruits as well as the foliage will be aesthetically pleasing, juicy, and in a state of good health. What is the origin of all of us? First and foremost, it is our thought process. Let us engage in a discussion about thinking today. What is thinking and what are the different types? I would like to emphasize that the thought process of a large number of individuals can be either negative or positive. When you speak to him, you can feel some negativity emanating from him, as if he is completely saturated with negativity. Everything is very complicated, everything is very dramatic, everything is very bad, and he starts working. I have a bad situation, they don't pay me at all, ungrateful, an unending waterfall of negativity. How is your health? Yes, I'm sick, it's very difficult for me. So it is very easy to identify such individuals. These are individuals who have not yet been born, particularly those who are exceptionally. It is not something innate, it is something acquired. This can be transmitted within the family, in what circumstances the child grew up in, and the environment the child was exposed to overall. Parents argued parents were also negatively inclined towards life. Life was challenging. There were challenges, and the child matured, assimilating all this negative, challenging, burdensome, which appears to him that the entire world is extremely inhospitable to him or her. And in turn, he does not live, but merely survives, or he simply exists, and his existence is not so simple, easy, or joyful as it should ideally be. So it is truly pleasant to communicate with certain individuals. There is a comfort and relaxation in the conversations. You have the ability to have conversations about literally everything with this person, and does it not bother you? All of these constant complaints, whining, and expressions of dissatisfaction. Let's be honest, okay? Many people really enjoy complaining, even whining to strangers, even if they've known you for just 5 minutes. I said, there are people with whom it is very pleasant and enjoyable to communicate. After them, a pleasant trace remains. It is joyful to remember them. It is joyful to see them again next time. It is easy and simple with them. Why? Because there exists this energy of goodness, kindness, lightness, and highness in the world. These individuals manage to live their lives in a relaxed manner, finding it easier to overlook the majority of these dark spots. They may see, yes, of course they see, but they imagine individuals purchased. The individuals saved funds for an extended period of time in order to acquire a costly and visually appealing automobile. And finally, he was successful. He got behind the wheel, started driving, and had an accident. The car is completely smashed into numerous pieces. It is simply impossible to repair it. It is no longer recoverable or salvageable, but at least he managed to survive the accident. The identical situation occurs with an individual who is more accustomed to living in a positive manner, meaning they think positively, prioritize seeing the good first and foremost, rather than the bad. In the scenario of our initial example, it is highly probable that a person with a positive mindset would be extremely happy and deeply grateful to the Lord. If someone asked him, how are you, what are you, he would say, of course I'm glad, of course I'm satisfied, I'm still alive. And the car, well, I'll work a little more, save up some more, and next time I'll be smarter or more careful. What do I want to say? Regarding the fact that there is the same situation and two individuals involved. One of them has a negative mindset, meaning that he focuses on the negative aspects first, such as the irreparable condition of the car and his decision to never buy a similar vehicle again, or at least not for a considerable period of time. So his thinking went to a completely different level. She went towards difficulties. She went towards non-acceptance. Exactly the same situation. And here he sees more. He is still here. He is in this world. And this is the most important thing in his life, the thing the moment he gets to experience. Yes, he will acquire knowledge from these experiences for the future, but the utmost crucial aspect is that he will perceive the positive aspects initially, that is, the good things. Thank you. This is very important. Why? Because we create problems for ourselves, we create difficulties for ourselves. And the more we ponder upon them, the more we find ourselves trapped in this monotonous routine, such a stagnant and unpleasant routine that reflects a deteriorating state of affairs. At the same time, our energy drops. At the same time, our motivation drops. At the same time, we feel powerless, succumb to laziness. We don't want to fight. We don't want to move forward. Therefore, thinking is an extremely important tool if you want to achieve significant heights in your pursuits and aspirations. I don't want to say that I'm not a supporter of what I've achieved and haven't felt anything about it. There are a lot of people who simply run to the heights, run to the peaks, but at the same time do not feel joy. I'm not about that currently. Everyone has their own heights. Of course, achieve, of course, go ahead. But most importantly, enjoy this life, find joy. Enjoy the process, enjoy their accomplishments. And thinking is an extremely important tool. I would like to reiterate it once more. Therefore, when pondering why I feel bad, I urge you to ask yourself the same question and reflect on it, as it is crucial for understanding and addressing my emotions. Each of us has bad times. This is life. There are simple situations, there are complex situations. But once again, here, everything is highly individualized. Why? Because for an individual with a negative mindset, virtually every occurrence can be perceived as unfavorable for them. Well, for instance, I was tardy for the meeting. That's the entirety, drama, catastrophe. Yes, his entire day is completely ruined, or possibly even an entire week, or maybe even an entire month. Seems like it's good you're late to meet. You won't be able to change anything now. You just need to change yours. Attempt to alter this situation and modify this task. So, what steps can be taken to make it better and enhance the overall outcome? A person with negative thinking will be more susceptible to emotional state. The emotional state will again flow from his thinking, but we'll talk about it a little later, so as not to create confusion in your head. Here, thus, initially, in order to fully grasp why I feel negative, you must sincerely and thoroughly analyze what is detrimental or harmful to you in every aspect of your life. For someone, badly torn pants being late for work. Badly someone looked at me crookedly. I feel bad. Good. And for an individual, it is considered unfavorable. It is truly a catastrophic occurrence that took place in his or her life experience. An accident, someone died, it's serious. In this case, the person will say, yes, I don't feel well now, I feel bad, I feel sad. And it is normal. So what am I leading you to? Bad can vary from very bad. Let's say, yes, very bad here, very bad and very bad. The level of badness can range from quite bad to quite bad, and then escalate to very bad, and ultimately reach the point of extremely bad. Yes, it is extremely detrimental for an individual with a pessimistic mindset. This will encompass all aspects, virtually everything, whatever you desire. Therefore, carefully examine, thoroughly analyze, and accurately determine which specific type you belong to based on the given information and characteristics. Are you positive? Or, to individuals with a negative mindset, let us say in plain and simple language, attempt to observe the positive or perceive the negative. Furthermore, consider what emotions, thoughts, and feelings are present in your mind. I would also recommend that you write down every single day all the things that are good and all the things that are bad. Either this occurred, what emotions do I experience simultaneously? This occurred, and this is my emotional response to it. And then consider, is it truly so terrible? Was there genuinely no alternative to the predicament without experiencing negative emotions? Our brain operates nonstop. When we are awake, our brain tirelessly processes a constant stream of information, and thoughts effortlessly flow from one to another, with an average interval of 3 to 5 seconds. At times we notice them, and at times we're unaware. In the past, I used to believe that my thoughts had control over me. This meant that whatever thoughts I had, they would shape my... Naturally, I'm telling you that I thought the same thing, that thoughts control me. Therefore, some individuals, due to lack of knowledge or simply lack of interest in this subject, believe that thoughts are the outcome of our existence, the outcome of what is taking place. And the thought, this thinking, seems to be somewhere very, very, very high. And we are already like the consequences. We just before these thoughts believe that this is all we have. And this controls us completely. When we understand that we control our thoughts, and we are the masters of our thoughts, and we create with the help of our thoughts what we want, then a whole global universe will open up for you, believe me. Let's go back to the fact that thoughts flow through our heads every 3-5 seconds, like a waterfall, a river. Let's take the river as a metaphor. The river flows. The river is our thoughts. Image, a river, the river flows. The river is our thoughts, a stream of thoughts. Imagine that you took a ladle and scooped up water for a thought. That is, you scooped up a thought from this stream of water, just like using a ladle to scoop up water. It's as if you captured the essence of a thought, like capturing water in a ladle from a flowing stream. The rest of the water flowed away, it's gone, but this water that you scooped up, it stayed with you, that is the thought. Let's say you had hundreds of different thoughts in your head, and then you became fixated on one particular thought. This thought is the material that you can work with. Therefore, if you consciously connected or intentionally created it, then you have the ability to work with this material and utilize it to your advantage in a deliberate and purposeful way. Thoughts themselves do not possess energy, but the thoughts that we work out in our brain, in addition to connecting visualizations there, we also connect emotions and feelings to them. That is, imagining how we would feel in this place or being in this thought, regardless of the circumstances or any other factors that may come into play. That is, if we connect feelings, sensory perception, visual representation, possibly even auditory, then this thought begins to be infused with energy, and it becomes already charged. You can say, a thought charged with energy. And the more frequently we scroll this thought, the more it will expand on a global scale, becoming increasingly materialistic in nature. And if you also incorporate actions to it, then a passing, fleeting thought can undergo a transformation and evolve into something tangible, material, and substantial that people can perceive, see, hear, and feel with their own senses, thereby making it more real and impactful in their lives. As an illustration, when you ponder, what do I want? What do I want to do? What do I want to engage in? And a multitude of thoughts traverse your mind. Akin to Google with pictures, certain elements are discarded by our brain. The question arises, why does this discarding process occur? What is the underlying reason behind the rejection of these thoughts by our brain? I would also like to remain in this place. It frequently happens that we ourselves discard certain very constructive and good thoughts, ideas, due to the fact that we have certain beliefs and notions that limit our perspective and hinder our growth and development as individuals and as a society. Imagine that you are actively pursuing the notion of not attaining success, let's suppose as part of your work and exploration. And how to be successful, huh? What is success? How to achieve success? And you start to think, what is success? How does it feel? And if I was successful, what would I do? How would I feel? Where would I live? Due to this thought, additional images are already starting to emerge. Thus, you observe you somewhere, potentially, might even experience something. You might even encounter such a sudden surge in energy, that is motivation and enthusiasm. At this particular stage, if you hold the belief that prosperous individuals cannot achieve success in a morally upright and commendable manner, or that you need to exert significant effort and unwavering perseverance to attain success, then it is crucial to acknowledge that these beliefs are widely held by a considerable number of individuals in society who firmly believe in the importance of hard work and ethical means as the only path to success. Dismiss this particular idea without any hesitation or second thought. So every single thing, you took her, you were completely filled to the brim with energy. Why does energy appear? When we possess an image, right here in our exquisite brain, there is a certain thought process that takes place, and it is filled with an auditory, possibly visual. In this specific place, we experience a strong feeling of residing within this idea, within this thought. It becomes incredibly real to the point where our brain can unreality. In other words, in summary, if we have a thought in our brain and it turns out to be real to us, that is, we can truly feel it, we can truly even hear it somewhere, that is, we live in this thought, then our brain does not distinguish between the fact that it is just a thought. It is unreal. It starts giving us energy, or it readies our body, our organism, for the implementation and realization of this thought and its subsequent actions. And envision that your body has already received the energy for certain actions, for the actualization of this thought, so that you begin to act, do, and embody it in reality. At that point, your belief can be abruptly extinguished, like pouring a cold bucket of water, leaving nothing behind but disappointment and a profound sense of emptiness that permeates your being. So here, beliefs, convictions, values are also of utmost importance. Are they real? To what extent do they truly reflect what exists in reality? And how deeply are they ingrained in their core being? Beliefs are precisely identical. Therefore, here it is. Let's summarize once more. There is. The outcome is currently in the middle of our ongoing conversation at this particular moment in time. So, there is negative and positive thinking. Negative thinking can definitely be altered. This is not something innate or considered or related to the devil of your character or genetics. No, negative thinking is acquired. You're used to living like this, used to noticing the bad and the difficulties. Here, incorrect beliefs play a highly significant role once again. Negative beliefs that may have been imposed on you during your childhood, adolescence, when you initially started exploring this world, getting to know this world, and understanding its intricacies. So, at this stage, it is very important to work on the quality of your beliefs, their reality, beliefs that also hinder you from moving forward. Negative mindset needs to be transformed into a positive mindset. This can be achieved, and later I will provide you with a few exercises on how to accomplish it effortlessly and effectively. It'll take time, but with your effort and determination, you'll definitely achieve it. Let us now proceed to discuss how negative and positive thinking greatly impacts our physiology, that is, our state of being, or, as many individuals refer to it, mood, as well as the overall well-being of the body as a whole. Imagine that by processing the same negative thoughts repeatedly, well, for example, saying, "Oh, I'm so tired," or "I'm not in a bad mood today," your brain perceives them as reality. It is crucial to be aware of the profound impact our thoughts can have on shaping our perception of reality and ultimately our overall well-being. Perceiving this as reality launches one or another hormonal background. Let's say, for example, you are sitting calmly on your couch in a relaxed state. And let's say you have a meeting with a not very pleasant person and you remembered about it and started thinking negatively rather than positively. Although this thought could even be turned into some kind of positive. But you started to consider this situation in a negative way, with a negative mood. So you imagine, like, I will see him, her, oh, he is like this and that and so on, depending on how you imagine the situation. Well, let us say it is a bad situation, right? So, it's not a pleasant experience at all. You have illustrated a depiction of a negative situation. What will transpire? If you experience anger at this particular moment, that is, in the envisioned picture you have formed, then you are harboring intense anger towards this individual, and your heart will initiate a frantic rhythm of beats. What is currently happening? Adrenaline and cortisol are being produced, which are responsible for... These are hormones that are responsible for generating feelings of anger, stress, and panic. That is hit, run, or play dead. Self-sufficiency, self-defense, right? So why did this happen? This thought was born in your head. In fact, you were just sitting on the couch calmly at home. And maybe this meeting won't happen at all, right? Happen completely differently. But nevertheless, you have imagined this. A vivid situation where you have lived, your body has already experienced it literally on a physical level. Thus, your brain, perceiving it as reality, promptly issued the corresponding command as if the perceived experience was indeed happening in the external world. Issued the command for everyone to gather, for the army to gather, prepare yourselves as we are about to go to war. And now you are already undergoing some kind of preparation for war, although in reality it is far from the truth. The same can be said with regards to hunger. Imagine that you are not hungry at all, but then you stumble upon a beautiful picture or an advertisement of a dish that you really like, and you start thinking about it, envisioning how it would taste and satisfy your cravings. After some time, you will come to realize that you are feeling hungry. In fact, you are not experiencing hunger. Just your brain sent a signal to engage in the act of eating, specifically related to the offense of food, and more specifically related to the offense of a meal, prompting the start of consumption. And he initiated the process of producing the essential juices needed for the food to undergo natural digestion in the body. So, here, what can we do with our thoughts? And what is the good news? Please inform me of any updates. In the fact that when we comprehend, when we recognize that thoughts, not merely a product or process, are among the most potent and exquisite tools bestowed upon us by God, then we will begin to control and harness their power, utilizing them to shape our lives and create our desired reality, while staying aligned with our divine purpose and embracing the abundance that awaits us on this journey of self-discovery and growth. Take control of the thinking process. How is it going? You commence to start with, if you have never been involved in the practice of tracking your own thoughts, then the very first stage will involve the practice of tracking your own thoughts. If prior to watching this video, you held the belief that your thoughts exert control over you, and now you find yourself questioning the validity of this fact and reevaluating your perspective on the matter, this is marvelous. So initially, you will need to be conscious of and carefully monitor your own thinking process in order to gain insights and make improvements. Naturally, it's not very easy because you begin to feel tired, and the majority of thoughts, in principle, stay unconscious. When does this eventuality happen? These are moments of fuss, when you are in a hurry, moments when your focus is directed at a specific task, and you, let's say, perform this task. You are focused on your actions, but nevertheless, a thought process is constantly going on in the background, shaping your decisions and influencing your next steps. If you commence devoting at least a short period of time each day to this particular activity, that is, if you initiate the process of tracking certain usually recurring thoughts or the nature of these thoughts, that is, dark, that is, once again, not very good thoughts, heavy, dark, negative, then make sure to write them down in order to document and reflect upon them later on, thus gaining valuable insights and self-awareness. In addition, make sure to write down your positive thoughts. Take note of which thoughts are more prevalent and have a greater influence on you. And then make an effort to notice the state or condition that the thought has caused within you and try to be mindful of its impact on your emotions, thoughts, and overall well-being. Allow me to state that the weather is not very favorable today, considering the current conditions and forecast. Take a look at the state that followed this thought. So first and foremost, we track, realize, and record the information for further analysis and evaluation. After some time, you will start to understand what I am talking about, those who have not been involved in this before naturally. Because for me, primarily and above all, it was a discovery. I was profoundly surprised that I actually comprehend my thoughts, and simultaneously I can manage them. How, for example, can I drive them away? Let's say, for example, I had some intrusive thought. I will discuss her at a later time. When I began tracking my own thoughts, and when I noticed that this thought repeats very often in my head, I simply started to push it away and distance myself from it, recognizing its lack of importance and choosing not to dwell on it. And also, I noticed that there is not a very good condition afterwards. So my mood was becoming not very good, it was falling, but taking away my energy. And realizing that I don't require this thought, the subsequent time I commenced to eliminate it completely. And for me, it was, so to speak, it was a revelation for me. I controlled my thoughts. I dismissed those that I no longer needed, or those that dragged me down, and inserted into my head. That is, forced myself at the initial stages. I forced myself to think thoughts that are now relevant to me. That is, those that I need now. They, of course, if I will choose, what thoughts will I choose? I will choose the best, the warmest, the happiest thoughts. So let's summarize once again. If you have not done this previously, I highly recommend you to write down, keep a diary of your own thoughts and reflections for future reference and self-reflection. Even if it is just 1 or 2 per day, this is already a very significant advantage. Each time it will be easier and easier and easier for you, so keep track of your thoughts and determine what type of thoughts they belong to. More inclined towards the dark, heavy side, or leaning towards the light and positive. What emotions and feelings are associated with this particular thought? Write it down exactly the same way. Do it until you understand that you are the master of your own thoughts, and you start choosing them, just like a wardrobe. For example, you woke up in the morning, you opened your wardrobe, you looked at the clothes hanging there, and chose something based on your mood. I want this dress, or I want these pants, or I want this suit. You take it and put it on exactly the same way with the same thought. What thoughts and emotions do I want to feel and think in this present moment? What specific feeling do I desire to experience? Because thought additionally gives us a feeling. How is it related and connected to our experiences? Once again, I reiterate, the recurring thought that we consistently have running through our minds on a constant basis. At the same time, we really give energy to this thought. That is, we really think about it at the level, you can say, of a vacuum shape. VAC form is a combination of visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning styles that cater to different types of learners. So I perceive, listen, experience. If we utilize all these instruments, let's designate it as such, then we infuse our thinking with vitality. By employing our senses of sight, hearing, and touch, we gather information from the world around us. When we harness the power of these tools, we enhance our cognitive processes and imbue our thoughts with a heightened level of energy. This heightened energy propels us towards greater understanding and enables us to navigate the complexities of life with clarity and purpose. This thought becomes more tangible. It captivates us. Additionally, it also sends a signal to our brain. That is, our brain sends a signal to our body to produce certain hormones that correspond to the thoughts we are thinking and reflect our state of mind. If we take into consideration stress, if we contemplate the concept of war, if we reflect on something unpleasant, of course our body will automatically start making preparations for this particular process that we are envisioning in our minds. In a similar vein, when we contemplate a conflict or an unpleasant conversation with someone, our brain sends a signal to our body, prompting the production of hormones that are suitable for confrontation, fighting, and other related circumstances. Cortisol, adrenaline, and other substances. When we ponder something pleasant, the signal from our brain prompts our body to produce the necessary hormones, as our brain communicates this message to ensure the appropriate physiological response. That is, it is possible for it to be dopamine, it is possible for it to be serotonin, that is, hormones associated with happiness, lightness, love, and joy. So this is how our amazing brain is structured. So the initial task is to track, record, and take control of thoughts. Why do I say take power? Because when you start to pay attention to your thoughts, you will understand that you dominate them, that you control them, not the other way around. When will you commence to understand the thoughts you think or ponder, and that you can easily just let go of this thought in the same second and contemplate what you want to think or what you need to think about, when you realize that you have the ability to choose, not the thought that chooses you, and that you hold the power to shape your own thinking? This is the initial step in effectively managing and directing your own thinking process from the very beginning. If, for instance, you desire to create an idealized version of yourself, you aspire to become an idealized version of yourself, but simultaneously you comprehend that there are specific gaps in your current state, then you will contemplate the ideal version of yourself regarding what I would be like and the additional areas I need to enhance. For example, I need to work more, have more confidence in myself, and how is this self-confidence? How can this be accomplished? And here's how I would feel if I were confident. And how would I talk? How would I walk? How would I sit? And how would I generally live my life? What kind of lifestyle would I have? That is, all these questions that you can ask yourself, which will lead you specifically to progress, not degradation. If you also visualize and experience it in your mind, then your thought will become even more powerful and impactful in shaping your reality. And envision that you can also employ certain tangible actions in the realm of reality, thereby enhancing your experiences and making a tangible impact on your everyday life. So you will commence doing, let's say, affirmative, and I desire to achieve a flawless body. And what is it like to be extremely beautiful, sexy, or so incredibly beautiful, sexy, and healthy, huh? Sport is not just beauty, but also health. Here, and visualize how you would look with this impeccable body, picturing yourself in the best shape of your life. What attire would you wear? How would individuals perceive you? How would you feel experiencing beauty and good health? If you consistently process the same topic, thinking, imagining, feeling it, and then purchase a ticket to a fitness club or gym, you will have the opportunity to make, so to speak, all the necessary efforts to achieve the desired objective or outcome that you have been working towards in your pursuit of fitness and well-being. And if you didn't consider the ideal physique and optimal well-being, let's suppose, if you simply allow this thought to fade and responded, yes, it's getting late for me. Yes, and that is completely acceptable. For this, you need a diet, restrict yourself, avoid this, avoid that. No, I don't want to. That's it, it's over. Then make sure that you will not have a perfect body, because everything starts with a thought. Until you make a decision within yourself, until you want it in your mind, of course, you will not take any physical actions in the material world. That is, you can say that the thought is not material yet. And material is what we see, hear, walk, how we live, what our day consists of, our routine day, our everyday day. That is, everything begins with a thought. Cities were constructed from thoughts. Certain inventions were created. It all began from this point. Conflicts, criminal activity. It also originates from thoughts. This is also all inference, this is thinking, this is deliberation, this is ideas and how and what. The main thing, of course, in this sense is that the plus or minus, good or bad, matters exactly how a person thinks, what beliefs, what principles, what beliefs lead this person, as well as what message to this life. Negative, once again aggressive, the world is against me, either the world is with me and the world loves me. So this is an incredibly substantial, immense topic, and an incredibly substantial, simply enormous opportunity, and not just an opportunity, but a remarkable way to achieve what you truly desire and aspire to accomplish. Let us summarize once more. The thought itself has no inherent meaning or significance whatsoever. Her brain consistently and non-stop processes information, continuously and without any interruptions. The idea becomes more tangible. It gains intensity when you fully comprehend and internalize it, allowing it to take shape and have a profound impact on your perception of reality. So, there is just a whirlpool in your head, and you have caught onto some thought, or you have decided to think about something. At that precise moment, you instantly grasped onto this thought. Is it in this manner? What are you going to do with her? Will you expand her, or will your unwavering conviction, your deep-rooted belief, your lingering fears, possibly yes, ultimately reject and discard this thought? What is the duration of your contemplation? How frequently will you call upon this idea? It is contingent upon you. Will you implement any tangible measures, any concrete strides towards attaining your objective that were prompted by this idea or not? In this case, I believe everything is clear. Moving on to the next point, there are a few automatic thoughts that arise. The identical thing that we all know regarding habits. Eating habits, lifestyle habits, bad habits, yes, indeed, unquestionably, without a doubt. Many habits, drinking habits, smoking habits, doing habits. In the case of powerless matters, let's consider an individual who is accustomed to sitting by slot machines or playing PlayStation 24/7, or simply sitting by the television set. This is also a habit. There are healthy habits, there are unhealthy habits, negative ones once again. You have the capability to articulate that these are, let's say, patterns on a physical level, what we do with our body, and everything that ensues from this, how it has an impact on our health, our way of life, as well as our condition, and also our thoughts and mental processes. However, there are also habits that are not solely related to physics. That is, to the actions we take in the physical world of our everyday reality. There are habits and thinking processes. Suppose, for example, that you consistently and continuously think the same thought pattern over and over again. Well, you can say, perhaps it is your conviction, perhaps it is some belief of yours that has settled long ago. But for example, you will say that life is unfair, or that I'm tired, yes, and constantly this I'm tired, everything is bad, everything is difficult, everything is black, it's impossible. All this constantly just spins in your brain. And the longer you ponder, the more frequently you reflect on it. Contemplate about this particular thought, reflect on this thought, the more frequently it will arise even without conscious awareness, gradually permeating your subconscious mind and influencing your thoughts and actions on a deeper level. So she will enter autopilot mode. Occasionally, you can catch yourself thinking about it right now, in this very moment. In fact, it was not even, so to speak, not of your own accord. You can just walk, phew, I'm tired. Playlist recording, that is, imagine that some playlist is playing constantly for you. This playlist, in principle, can ruin the lives of many people, especially if this playlist is not very good. Once again, why? Because it has an influence on our hormonal background and affects our overall well-being. This has an impact on us. Naturally, the hormonal background affects our condition, which can result in a decrease in strength, the development of diseases, and increased stress levels. Stress can potentially lead to depression. Therefore, it is intricately interconnected with thoughts, body, reactions, actions, and various other related factors and aspects. In my opinion, I believe that today we have managed to gain some understanding of what a thought is and what the process of thinking entails. And if you enjoyed my video, I would kindly request you to like and subscribe to my channel. I will be eagerly anticipating your presence in the upcoming video. Farewell.